I'm gonna keep it a buck with y'all. $1.50 as a matter of fact. Y'all were this close to not getting a podcast today. I really was like, you know what? I just get with these dudes on Monday. But I said, nah. It's a couple of items to get to. I feel like I need to do something. I don't want to just leave it out there dangling around. So I said, I'm going to get in, get out. This is going to be one of those straight through podcasts, no breaks. And you know what? Like Jameis Winston, I'm out here trying to eat a dub. Who else could it be but me, your man, Louie T? Welcome to the 195th installment of the Louie T Network podcast. I, of course, am your set man, Louie T. Thank you for joining me. I already told you this is an in and out podcast. We're not going to waste a lot of time. We're not going to take no breaks today. We're going straight through. No chaser. So we're going to get in, get out, and get on with our lives because you know it's Friday. You know how I feel. It's Friday, and I'm ready to swing. I'm ready to get a drink up in me and let the party sing. So without any further ado, let me give a shout out to my guy, Emperor Meech, for being the first in the comment section to get the party started today. Emperor Meech, I hope you're having a great Friday because you know your man Louie T is. Let's get to the proceedings this evening. You know what it is. Let me drop this gem on your melon. Open your mind, let your conscience be free. You're now rolling with your man, Louie T-double-E. Let me open you up, get you thinking a little bit. So we have another winner declared in another QB battle. And the winner is in the red corner, standing 6'5", weighing in at 235 pounds, Jameis, Mr. Eat-A Dub Winston. Fight over. Winston gets the win in the third round of the preseason. Good for Jameis Winston. I told you guys, I might have said this on another show. I was recently on another show. I might have said it there, or I might have said it here. I said, this wasn't a real competition. Although it felt early on like, wait, what the hell is going on? What is Taysom Hill doing starting the first preseason game? I think I said that to you guys. But I said, this felt like Sean Payton saying, man, I can't keep shitting on Taysom Hill, man. I got to get this dude some run. Because really, can we really envision the Saints being the Saints without Taysom Hill playing running back, personal protector, tight end, fullback, H-back? Can we really see their offense running as smoothly, or just their team in general running as smoothly without Taysom Hill filling all of the various roles that he fills for the New Orleans Saints? If he's playing quarterback, then he can't be the personal protector. He can't be the gadget quarterback. He can't be the fullback. He can't be the move tight end. He can't be fill in the blank. Okay, he plays so many roles and wears so many hats for that football team. He can't do all of those things if he's playing starting quarterback. And Sean Payton knows this. He's no dummy, but in order to make Taysom Hill feel like he actually gets an opportunity, like he's not just being passed over, you got to make it feel like a real competition. And I thought Sean Payton did a magnificent job of making it feel like that. And look, if Jameis would have really wet the bed, Taysom Hill might have been the starting quarterback. Let's not kid ourselves. Sean Payton wasn't going to throw Jameis Winston out there if he didn't think he was ready. We saw what Jameis did on Monday Night Football versus Jacksonville Jaguars. I told you I felt like he had it sewn up like a teller, relatively easy, like Jerry Heller. The drop is cherry vanilla. We already said that was over with. It was done. However, we still needed to hear it. Well, we got the confirmation today. Mr. Eat a Dub got to eat a dub. Let's see what he does with it in the Big Easy. It's not going to be easy for the Saints to run it back in that division. What have they been? Division champs the last 2 years running strong? I think it's been 2 or is it 3 years? More, they felt like they've been running that division for quite some time, but I think that comes to an end this year. But we'll see. Jameis is coming out hot in the preseason, but the preseason is the preseason. When teams start scheming for Jameis, I think we might see some of these dubs start to turn to L's, but we will see. I'm happy for Jameis. Act 2 of Jameis Winston may be better than Act 1. Go ask Ryan Tannehill. It's possible. you can turn it around with another chance somewhere else. We'll see if Jameis Winston Act 2 is much better than Act number 1. So without any further ado, I told you we're going to breeze through this thing nice and easy. Let's get to the next segment of the show. And it is In Case You Missed It. And if you out there and you got something you want to talk about, we're going to do this hybrid style. So this could easily turn into a social media maneuver / In Case You Missed It. So if you got something out there, you want to chop it up, we got a couple of extra minutes to toss around some ideas and some conversations. Use the hashtag LouieTeeLive to have your comment read on the air, or you can super chat to jump straight to the front of the line. So I want to start by talking about Vinny Curry. This is sad, man. You never want to see a guy miss the entire season for any reason, including especially an ailment like this. You know, injuries, they happen, they suck. But when somebody's got a blood disorder and that's going to cause them the entire year, that's a little scary. You know, you stop thinking about football at that point and you start thinking about people's livelihoods at that point. You're like, wait a minute, is this guy going to be okay? So Vinny Curry reportedly had a blood disorder found. And it's amazing. I don't know if this happened, you know, with the, because he's currently with the Jets. I don't know if the team doctors with the Jets discovered this or if he had, you know, an outside doctor, you know, find this out. A lot of times, though, with these football players, you know, these athletes, things are discovered with these team doctors. This is amazing. You know, you think about Eric Berry and his cancer scare. You know, you think of Trent Williams, and even though he claims that Washington was kind of dismissive of his tumor in his brain, I don't know. You know, you depending on who you talk to in that situation, at the end of the day, there was something going on there, and I think the team doctors may or may not have had something to do with him figuring that out. Either way, it's amazing how many of these players have things found, you know, by these team physicians and doctors and things of that nature. So this may be another example of that. I just know I wish for nothing but the best for Vinny Curry. Hopefully it's a speedy recovery and he gets well soon. How about the Patriots trading for Shaun Wade? We've seen a few trades here, and this is not uncommon. End of preseason, end of the training camp period, where you start to assess your roster, realize maybe not as tight there as we thought we were. Maybe we need to add a guy or two. You can wait until guys get cut, or you can jump to the front of the line. Similar to a super chat, you can jump to the front of the line and make a trade, because hey, if they got to pass through waivers, you may not get your hands on the guy that you have been eyeballing. And you know, it's amazing. Shaun Wade, who the Ravens recently traded to the New England Patriots, he just got there. It's not like this guy's in his third year, got a year left on the rookie contract. You throw in this year, 2 years left on the rookie deal, and you say, hey, we've seen enough of Shaun Wade, pass him off to the Patriots. They drafted this kid this year, and they're looking at their secondary like, hey, it ain't no space for you, man. And maybe you can play, maybe you can't, but we don't have time to find out. So instead of cutting you and having you on the practice squad, we just going to pass you off to New England. Good luck, man. Yikes. Okay, that's how we doing it? Okay, that's when you know you got an abundance of riches, when you decide, you know, a late round draft pick. And he's not any average late round draft pick. If this was some kid from Central Florida, you know, UCF, or some kid from USF, you know, South Florida, or some kid from Abilene Christian, you're like, oh, okay. Yeah, 6th, 7th round pick, some dude I never heard of, cool beans, whatever. It's just Shaun Wade, okay? This is a dude that, you know, I think if he goes back to school and plays safety, could easily be in the first round of the NFL draft, because when we saw Shaun Wade the first time around, or if you just said, hey, Shaun, go back to safety, drop over the slot, play some nickel, we think you could really have a chance to be a first round pick. When we saw him early in his career, when he was really strictly a nickel, dude was a baller. So, you know, it's amazing the rap he's gotten, and he deserves it. He was awful at corner. I think it kind of started the tail end of the 2020 season. I thought he was getting roasted a little bit towards the end of that season, and then it bled into 2021. He was awful last year, I thought. Yeah, I think he had a pick 6 in maybe even the first game of the season, but after that, it was all downhill for Shaun Wade. He was not good last year, and when he saw elite competition, he was torched. obviously the national championship game, and you could really start to stack a lot of those games on top of each other. He wasn't very good. And I think teams took notice of that. And so I said, he's getting bad advice. I would have told him, hey, go back to school, bruh. Go back to safety and play some nickel and get your stock back up. But he came out, I think he was a 5th round pick. He might have been a 6th round pick, maybe a 7th. Let's see where Shaun Wade was drafted. I know that the Ravens essentially gave him away for, I think, a 7th this year and a 5th next year in the draft. So let's see, Shaun Wade's draft. Shaun Wade draft. Let's see where he was drafted. Oh, boy. He should have gone back to school. You know, and I always say I don't know what a guy's situation is. So, 5th round, I was right. He was in the 5th round. And they get their 5th round pick back, not in the next year's draft, but the year after that. But at the end of the day, Ravens wash their hands clean of Shaun Wade, and we'll see what the Patriots can do with him. And you know what they're thinking about. They're looking at him as potentially, you know, they just got a guy from the Eagles, Jalen Mills. I think they feel like he could be Jalen Mills now. They may try him at corner first to see if he could be good, because they know more likely than not they're not going to be able to pay J.C. Jackson. Maybe they will, maybe they won't. Maybe they think Stephon Gilmore last year in New England, they'll move on from him. They'll give, you know, J.C. Jackson Stephon Gilmore's money, and then they'll move, you know, Shaun Wade into J.C. Jackson's role as the number 2 corner. Maybe that's what they're thinking. You know, the Patriots are always trying to play chess while everybody else is playing checkers. So this is probably one of those moves. I see him as more of a Jalen Mills type of guy that's a hybrid safety corner, similar to, what's the guy that just retired? I always forget his name, the one from Oregon that played for them, Patrick Chung. I see him filling that Patrick Chung role, similar to the way I think they're going to use Jalen Mills, but maybe they're thinking something else. You know how the Patriots do. Like I just said, they could easily be thinking J.C. Jackson's deal is up after this year. We got to pay him. We'll move out. If J.C. Jackson has a big year, that'll be their new number 1 star corner. They'll move on from Stephon Gilmore. He's getting long in the tooth. And then they'll insert Shaun Wade into the J.C. Jackson role. Or they could just be looking at him as another Patrick Chung. We'll see. The Patriots are up to something. They don't usually trade for guys like this unless they say, and you know the Patriots are the best in the league. They don't do a great job of drafting, and they don't do a great job of developing their own talent a lot of times, but they're really, really good. I think the best in the league at taking your stuff that you deem to be garbage, trash, and shining that shit up and getting the most out of it. Like a Kyle Van Noy, for instance. They do that to me the best of anybody in the league. Take your stuff, brand new, and they take it out there and they start having a blast with it. So we'll see what happens at the end of the day. We'll see if this works out for Shaun Wade. He gets a brand new fresh start with the New England Patriots. Let's see, we got a couple of super chats here. Big shout out to my guy Barrett Downing. What up, BD? John Perez says, I feel like Miggity Mac should be the starter in New England. At least he doesn't turn the ball over. We'll see, JP, because I think they really want to give Cam a shot at, you know, giving them the best chance to win. Cam is a dynamic guy. He still has wheels. He brings a different element to their offense that Mac Jones does not. But I know they are disappointed in Cam Newton having missed those days of practice this week. I think it did open the door slightly for Mac Jones, but I think when it's all said and done, Cam Newton is still your week 1 starter for the New England Patriots. But it would not shock me if they decided, you know what, Cam, we're sick of your shenanigans, and they go ahead and turn the reins over to Mac Jones week 1. It is not out of the realm of possibility, but I still think Cam Newton is your week 1 starter for the New England Patriots. JP also says, I predict Dalton lasts 4, 5, or 6 games tops in Chicago before Nagy gets fired, and then the interim coach starts Fields against Green Bay week 6. I don't see, you've been on this Matt Nagy getting fired train all off season long, that he's going to get fired, not just fired, but fired in season. I don't see it happening. I don't think he gets fired at all. And I think even if he is going to be fired, it'll be at the end of the season. But I keep bringing this up. I'm not a Matt Nagy fan. You guys know that. However, I've acknowledged that the guy's gone to the postseason 2 out of 3 years. Like, I feel like if the Bears run him out of town, it might be similar to what happened to Jim Caldwell in Detroit, where you go get rid of Matt Nagy for who exactly? Because last time I checked, Guy took you to the playoffs 2 out of 3 years, including a division crown. If the next guy comes in and he's Matt Patricia, you just effed up. Big time. So I don't know if the Bears should be so hasty to run Matt Nagy out of town or not. Anyway, we'll see. I don't think he gets fired without getting an opportunity. Remember, I think it's a package deal. You know, if you're getting rid of Matt Nagy, then you probably need to get rid of GM Ryan Pace as well. They drafted, and not only did they draft him, they traded up to draft Justin Fields. You got to give them an opportunity to prove that they can handle Justin Fields. That's why if you're not going to give them the keys to drive this Justin Fields vehicle, then why the hell did you give them the keys to make the deal in the first place? You got to let them drive this car, man. And I'm not talking test drive it. Let them drive the whip. And if they crash it, then you say, okay, y'all did the Mitchell Trubisky thing again, didn't you? You trade up for a dude. You know what? Ryan, get the hell out and take Matt with you. Let them drive the car first. If this is a wreck like Mitchell Trubisky, then they got to go. But to me, you gave them the keys the first time. You wrecked it. After that, you said you don't get to wreck another vehicle. We gave you the Mitchell Trubisky keys. You wrecked that car. You ran that right into a telephone pole. Wrapped it around the damn pole. You don't give them another set of keys and say, go get us another new car. If you're going to do that, then you got to let them drive that one too. And if they wrap that one around a tree, that's when you get rid of them. But to me, if you fire them or Matt Nagy before he actually gets his hands on Justin Fields, then what are we doing here? You're going down a very, very slippery slope, because that's how you destroy a quarterback. You bring him into one system, you fire the guys that believed in him, you bring in a guy that says he believes in him, but maybe he really doesn't. And then he comes in, he switches up the scheme, it's brand new verbiage, and now Justin Fields' head is spinning. Now, sometimes the guy that was there before is everything that quarterback doesn't need. Okay, case in point, Jared Goff in Los Angeles. He was there the first year with Jeff Fisher. Everybody thought he was the worst quarterback ever. They bring in Sean McVay. They go to the Super Bowl. Sometimes you do need a change, but you want to be careful with that, because it could go either way. And a lot of times you keep switching, coordinators and head coaches and GMs. Shit usually goes left for young quarterbacks really, really fast. So I don't really see anything happening there, but we will see. Anyway, JP also, I got a super chat here from Blake Austin. Thank you for the super chat. My guy Blake Austin, greatly appreciate you, who writes, Washington football team playoffs, realistically, I mean, it's possible. I've already told you I don't think we're a postseason team this year, but it's possible. Anything's possible. This time of the year, we're talented enough. You know, we've upgraded the position that you could argue was the worst for us last year, which was quarterback and receiver. I think they were equally bad last year, and we've upgraded both of them. And so, yeah, they've got a shot, seriously. But the schedule is daunting, and we'll see what Washington is capable of doing, what the defense does. Everybody's so high on this defense. I think they're being somewhat inflated. And we're going to see what Ryan Fitzpatrick is. Everybody's seen, oh, my God, Fitzpatrick is playing so good the last 3 years. Okay, we're going to find out. When's the last time you seen this man play 17 straight? 16, okay? Since you want to be literal. Well, technically, this is the first time we've had 17-game season, so he's never done it. 16 games. When's the last time you seen him do that, smart guy? Yeah, that's what I thought. Anyway, I digress. JP says, if I were Shanahan, I start Lance week 1. If I want any chance of winning this year, Jimmy G is straight garbage. Well, I don't think he sees it that way. And you could argue the other way, that if you start Trey Lance, you're putting a pause on a team that thinks they're ready to win a Super Bowl right now. Because remember, the 49ers, they're essentially one whole season removed from being in the Super Bowl. You know, a bunch of injuries last year really deflated that season, but we know what kind of a coach Kyle Shanahan is. And so, and if you're a 49ers fan, you're probably conflicted, because you know that Jimmy G's ceiling is not very high, but he did take you to a Super Bowl before. You know, now you could argue it was really the defense, but again, still had to get competent quarterback play. But if you're going to win anything of note, more likely than not, it's probably going to come with Trey Lance. And if you want to get that party started early. I don't blame you for that, but just know it's going to come with growing pains. And if you're trying to win now this year, you're probably not going to do that with Trey Lance. I think it's in his best interest to just sit for a little while. And then when you think he's ready, and I think Shanahan will know when the guy is ready, even if that's not till week 9 or 10. He'll know when he's ready, and he'll be ready to stick him in there. But I don't think he's ready to go right out of the gate week 1. I think he's shown signs of a guy that's going to struggle, going to make some mistakes. That's what you expect from a young quarterback. I think you take your time and you get him in there when he's ready. And if that's this year, great. If it's next year, even better. But more likely than not, we're going to see Trey Lance this year. It's just a matter, to me, of when. Not if, but when. So we'll see what happens. JP says, I can see the AFC North and NFC West getting 3 teams in the offs. Both of those divisions are super competitive. Every time I think a division is capable of getting 3 in, it usually that last team that you're counting on getting it done falters. I thought Arizona was going to be good enough to get in last year. They faltered down the stretch and they missed the postseason. So it's conceivable because of how good the West is, with the Rams and the Seahawks and the Cardinals all getting in the offs. I could see that happening. Same with the AFC North, with Cleveland and Baltimore and Pittsburgh. But again, generally speaking, one of those teams usually tapers off. We saw 3 teams get in from the North last year in Baltimore, Pittsburgh, and Cleveland. We'll see if that happens again in the North. I tend to not bet on the Browns 2 years in a row, but we'll see what happens. I think that they're well coached. I already told you guys that last preseason game. I think they're really well coached. We know they can run the football. If they stay healthy up front along that offensive line with those running backs, they're healthy. They're going to really be a tough team to deal with. And I think Jadeveon Clowney may have a really good season alongside Myles Garrett. So we'll see. We'll see. Captain Spartan says, how do you feel the Braves will do against the Dodgers and Giants? I'm gonna let you know, those 2 losses against the Yankees, they hurt. And I really wanted that second one bad. I wanted to snap their win streak. And we weren't ready. It felt like those games were a little bit too big for our britches. And if we can't beat the Yankees, I don't know how you take down the Giants and the Dodgers. So I still think the Dodgers are the best team in the NL, and I don't know if we're good enough yet. I don't think we're there yet, but we're starting to get healthy, which gives me hope and optimism, but I still don't trust the bullpen. I still got issues with that, and we'll see what happens. I do know this. We've now gotten to the point where we should have been, 2-3 months ago, where we were in control of the division, and now we need to start fine-tuning some things for the postseason. But I still think the Dodgers are the best team in the NL, and the Giants have been probably the best team in the NL all season long for the most part, which is a surprise. Everybody thought it was going to be the Dodgers and the Padres. Bottom line is we got the Giants starting tonight. If we can't take 2 out of 3, I think that's a sign that we're not ready yet. And if I'm not mistaken, they should be getting Max in this series, which the Yankees were able to avoid. But we'll see. They got Charlie Morton, who has probably been our most consistent pitcher this year, and we weren't able to get it done. So anyway, I digress. Red Wing 01 says, I wouldn't start Lance this year. He shows flashes of brilliance, but for the most part, he's been extremely raw. Needs time to get up to speed facing NFL players instead of farmers. Like I said, I agree with you. I don't know if you can go a whole year without playing a young quarterback anymore. It's rare. Really, really rare. Especially if Jimmy Garoppolo has a really good season like Alex Smith did, 4 or 5 years ago, to keep Patrick Mahomes on the bench essentially that whole season, then yeah, you cool with that veteran playing. But more likely than not, Jimmy G is going to struggle, and they're going to be fans calling for his head, and Kyle probably will get impatient and say, all right, I think Trey's ready. Let's get him in there. So we'll see what happens. But at the end of the day, I don't really see the 49ers rushing to put Trey Lance in there, nor should they. Because similar to the Cleveland Browns, they got a dynamic run game and a defense that's going to keep them in ball games. And if Jimmy G isn't a turnover machine, they should be able to win some games off the strength of the run game, some play action fake off the run, and a really quality defense. But again, if Jimmy G can't manage that, you say, well, why the hell not play the young guy if Jimmy G's not going to give us quality play anyway? So we'll see what happens. Shout out to Condo P. Thank you for your comment. JP says, what would it take to make an Aaron Rodgers or Russell Wilson trade happen? 2 first rounders and then some. Probably that's where you start. That's where the conversation starts. It's probably 2, 4, and then some for Aaron. It might be 3 for Russell Wilson. It's debatable. Russell Wilson is 32, I believe. Aaron Rodgers is 36, 37. So they're up there. They're up there. Probably 2 first rounders and then some. That's where the conversation starts. It may be where it ends as well, but that's where it starts for sure. Condo P. Speaking of Jadeveon Clowney, did you see his comments about guards not being real athletes? Nah, I didn't see that. That's real disrespectful if he did say that, but I mean, that's his opinion. But if I'm him and I got to play against guards, I don't think that's the best thing to actually do or say. But, to each its own. I'm not going to knock the hustle, but if that's how you feel, that's how you feel. But some things are better left unsaid. Some guys just don't seem to understand that concept. You could be thinking that, but you maybe shouldn't say it out loud. Anyway, I digress. In any event, let's finish up this show with garbage time. So, I'm really starting to believe that Cole Beasley, for as good as a wide receiver as he is, he's going to be problematic for the Buffalo Bills this year. And it may be in their best interest to tell Cole, you know what? We're going to have to go in a different direction. And somebody else would probably sign Cole Beasley and be willing to deal with his stance. I don't have a problem with Cole Beasley's stance, but every time somebody takes to social media, it's not your job to become the anti-vaxxer police, and it's not your job to always have something to say. So Isaiah McKenzie gets fined by the NFL. Apparently, and what's up with these young boys wanting to post, their fine letters on socials? Like, come on, man, grow up. Like, social media isn't for everything. You might be upset, you might be disappointed, but don't post your business on socials. That said, he posted the letter he received from the NFL. Apparently, he wasn't wearing his mask. How the NFL knows this, I don't know. Maybe they got a guy in the bushes with binoculars making sure that... I know in certain companies, they put their agents in the bushes, behind trees, watching their employees to make sure they're following safety protocols. And if they're not, they write them up. Okay? Maybe that's what the NFL they're doing. Maybe they're in some bushes outside of Orchard Park, in the training facilities of the Buffalo Bills, and they're watching them, and they're out there scoping every team. And they got an agent set up in by every team's training facility and practice field. Whatever the case may be, apparently he wasn't wearing his mask at 5:32 p.m. on a Tuesday afternoon. Whatever. I don't know how they knew this, but apparently they did. So he gets fined, for not having his mask on and, not being vaccinated and being around teammates, this, that, and the third. And apparently Cole Beasley got in trouble for the same thing, not having his mask on, whatever the case may be. And then, Cole decided, well, you're going to fine me. Even though I've followed all your little funky protocols, we got a dude that's vaccinated and a trainer here, and he ended up getting COVID. And, what's the penalty for that? And what the hell is the purpose of me, having to do all of this stuff if dudes who are vaccinated are still getting COVID and this, that, and the third? I'm like, Cole. Whoa, bro. Slow down. What are we doing right now? If I'm the Bills, I'm like, look, we don't need this shit. We're a really good football team. We were 1 game away from the Super Bowl. This shit could come undone real easy because Cole Beasley is in his feelings. And the Bills have plenty of unvaccinated guys in that wide receiver room, as it is, that could easily be led astray by Cole Beasley. It's one thing to be an anti-vaxxer. That's cool. Again, I don't give a shit. Vaccinated, non-vaccinated, that's your prerogative. But it's like it's like the guy that is a big time Christian. And again, I love it. Love you loving your faith. But it's the guy that wants to put his faith off on you. That's the guy that annoys me. Okay? It's cool to love God and to love your faith. It's another thing to take the next man and say, I'm going to push my faith off on you whether you want me to or not. I feel like Cole Beasley starting to walk that fine line between standing up for a cause and being annoying. Now you're like, hey Cole, chill out, bro. Relax. Be easy. We understand where you're coming from. Remember that the NFL is a private entity. They can do whatever the hell they want. They can do whatever they like. Yeah. So technically speaking, if they really wanted to be some dicks about it, they could just say, hey, everybody's got to be vaccinated or you can't play. But they know they can't be stupid. Because if they do that, which they have the right to do, a lot, just like some of these coaches decided, hey, I'm not going to coach. I'm going to go ahead and step down. A lot of players will say, okay, well, I won't play in your league. They don't want that. Okay. Because some of the best players in the league right now are currently unvaccinated. They don't want that. They don't want those dudes saying, nah, well, then I won't play. So that's why they know it's a fine line they're walking here. However, be easy, Cole. Let's not do all of the extra stuff. It'll be interesting to see if something else happens, because we're starting to see these cases ramp up a bit. The Titans, for the second year in a row, outbreak. I don't know what they're doing in Tennessee, but apparently they don't know how to keep things under control there. Because this is the second year we've had. Did they have an outbreak? You know what? Yeah, they did. It was them, because I was about to say maybe it was Buffalo. No, it was Tennessee, and the Bills had to delay their process because we were supposed to get them and the Chiefs on a Thursday night, and because the Titans had an issue, they had to postpone that game till Tuesday. So then we didn't get Chiefs and Bills on a Thursday. We got Chiefs Bills, I think, on a Monday. So anyway, I digress. This is the second year in a row the Titans have had issues with COVID. I don't know what they got going on. Their head coach, Mike Vrabel, had COVID, and then, they had a whole lot of nonsense. I think like 9 guys now have had to, go through the protocols and have to quarantine with the Titans. It's a mess. And I'm hearing from Dr. Alan Sills, which is the NFL's league doctor, essentially, or medical advisor, that all of the NFL cases have been the Delta variant, which I didn't know. So, that's rough. In any event, you can see how this thing could get out of control this year. I mean, if what happened to the Titans happened during the week of a game, they might have had to forfeit, depending on if those guys were vaccinated or not. The league is coming down on teams that aren't vaccinated. If they aren't vaccinated, I don't know who was or wasn't and what the numbers were for the Titans. If they couldn't put a team on the field because of this, the league's like, we're not really looking to try to help everybody fit into this schedule. We're not going to be doing a whole bunch of juggling for y'all. So, I don't know. Things are getting interesting. I told you this is a topic I really prefer not to talk about, but I just thought I'd throw this out there because Cole Beasley, to me, is doing a ton. So, in any event, we'll see what happens with the Bills. I know I've talked to a bunch of Bills fans who are like, come on, Cole, man, chill, bro, chill. We really don't want to do you, but we'll do you. Okay? He was on the NFL Top 100. So it's not like he's not a good football player. If his name were Cole Hamilton, he'd have been cut already. But he's Cole Beasley. So the Bills are putting up with this. But at some point, they're going to say, all right, enough's enough. Look, bro, either you're going to play football and shut up, or you got to take your ass home. And he's already said, I'll retire. I don't have any problems. I've had fun with this game. I've made money. So it's whatever. For real, whatever y'all trying to do, I'm cool with it. So he's already made it known, y'all can't hurt me. So when dudes already tell you in advance, y'all can't hurt me, I'm a machine jerk. When somebody tells you that, that's when you go, oh shit. He don't give a F. All right, we might have to put our foot down. When somebody says on God, on my mama. All right, y'all, get your stuff. It's time to go. Somebody about to do some stupid shit. Come on, no, get your stuff. We don't have time to explain. Get your stuff. On my mama, on God. That's when you say, all right, come on, get your stuff. We got to go. You're going to hear some gunshots, or you're going to hear somebody go, ah! Get your stuff. It's time to go. Cole Beasley already announced to the Bills, I don't care. On my mama, I quit. So you already know he'll say whatever. And you can do whatever because he don't care. So I'm not saying Buffalo. I'm just saying. Anyway, I digress. I got a super chat here from my guy, Captain Spartan 04. I'm going to take this one on the way out. Says, Jordan Berry too, but the Vikings might be buyers. That's random. What are you talking about? Maybe let me go back to your last comment. Maybe you continuing. Oh, wait. Here we go. I got 2 super chats from him. So this is why it didn't make sense. He says, can you read my Steelers scrap comment, please? Sure thing. I'm assuming this is it. Do you think any of these Steelers scraps have any trade value? Zach Gentry, Carlos Davis, Justin Lane, Jalen Samuels, Cassius Marsh, unless Ulysses Gilbert the third, and potentially James Washington. And then you threw in Jordan Berry too. Your punter? Somebody's got to be super desperate for Jordan Berry because obviously you got the young fella that you just drafted out of Georgia Tech that you probably want to roll with. And Jordan Berry's kicked the ball really effectively this preseason, so he may have a little bit of value, Mike Jordan Berry, but it's hard to extract any value out of a punter. If they know you got 2 of them and they know you're not keeping both of them, they might just try their hand at letting you release them and putting in a waiver claim because not a ton of teams are going to be looking for an upgraded punter. So I don't know if you'll get anything out of him, but there may be a little bit, a 7th round pick or something like that you can extract out of Jordan Berry. But the only guy realistically that I see out of all those names, maybe 2 of them, 3 maybe. Justin Lane, Jalen Samuels, and James Washington. So for me, Justin Lane, you had to have loved him coming out of Michigan State. If you didn't, then you're probably not going to love him now because he hasn't done anything to really warrant somebody wanting to come and take him off your hands. So you had to love Justin Lane coming out of Michigan State, and you think, hey, the Steelers just haven't been using him right. Let me take a look at this kid. But I don't think anybody's going to give you anything for him, honestly. But if you loved him coming out of the draft, he's still young and on a rookie contract, maybe. Jalen Samuels, he's a Swiss Army knife. I don't know if he's done enough for people to really respect him enough to give you something for him. But he has the ability to run it a little bit. I just don't think he's a good enough athlete for someone to want to take him off your hands and give you something for him, and then James Washington would be appealing, but this is the last year of his rookie deal, if I'm not mistaken. Are you really going to give up some draft capital for a guy that doesn't have another year of service left on his rookie contract? Meaning that if you trade for him, you got to be able to re-sign him, or else you just wasted a fill-in-the-blank round pick. Even if it's a 6th round pick, you'd like to be able to say, yeah, I traded for him and he's going to be here for the next 3 seasons. But you can't say that because you're not going to just trade for him and then give him a contract. So if you wanted to trade James Washington, last year would have been the year to trade him with a year left on his contract. That's when it had value. It really doesn't hold a ton of value right now. But you may get something late. If the team's really struggling. Like if I'm the Atlanta Falcons and I like James Washington, sure, I'd give you a 7th round pick for him, a conditional 6 or something like that. But I wouldn't give you anything major for him because he doesn't have another year of service left on that contract. It's a one and done type of situation. So I don't see a lot of, Cassius Marsh is a core special teamer. You're not getting anything for him. Zach Gentry is a backup type player. Carlos Davis, none of these guys move the needle. So no. Honestly, what you're looking to do is you're trying to get rid of stuff you don't want and you want somebody else to want it. But this is all stuff that's on the table all the way at the end of the flea market. And, you know, you're begging somebody to take these items off of you, but they're like, nah, I don't want that. You can keep it. So good luck. You're going to need it. Those sound like dudes that may be getting cut. You're going to cut them anyway, but you want something before you cut them. Nah, I'm good. I'm going to pass. Thanks. No thanks. Anyway, I digress. Thank you for the super chats. Double up. Captain Spartan 01. So that's going to do it for me, your man, Louie T. You guys, do me a huge solid. If you haven't already done so, please, please, please hit the subscribe button for more great content here on the Louie T Network. Turn on that notification bell so you don't miss a thing. And hit the like button. Doesn't cost you a thing, but it does help this channel out exponentially. So, big shout out to Rashid Fry, Fat American. What's good with all of y'all? Mob Squad, stand up. Y'all are all in the building. Anyway, I digress. I'm going to glide to the side and get this weekend kicked off in the only way I know how, with some R&R, rest and relaxation. I'm about to get me a nice glass of wine and kick it and chill, because it's all fine on a Friday. You know how it is, man. In any event, you guys, take care. Enjoy the football. You know, I got the gas face yesterday. Oh, man. I thought you was going to have some football. Thursday, I looked up at the schedule. I was like, all right, who's playing tonight? And the NFL said, nobody. I said, wait a minute. I don't get one game tonight? Nope. All Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Everybody is on 3 days. That's it. Okay, I can respect it. I didn't expect it, but I can respect it. So, enjoy the football. It starts tonight. We'll come back. We'll break it all down. Baker Mayfield is playing. Looks like a lot of these teams are like, we were going to pass on the preseason, but we're going to give them a little bit of work. So I'm looking forward to seeing who plays, who doesn't. You know, I'm going to be clocking those teams that haven't played their starting quarterback or some semblance of starters like the Rams. I'm clocking all of them. And if they come out stumbling out of the gates week 1, I'm on their ass. Oh, I'm on their ass. So I hope they're making the right decision. Because, you know, I'm waiting. I'm sitting on the fastball dead red. And if they throw it to me, I know it's coming. I'm a Houston Astros that bitch right out of the pop. I'm waiting. Don't kill me. I'm just a messenger. Y'all know what it is, man. Get off the bench and get in the game and kick it with me, your man, Louie T. Until next time, I'm going out like my man, Jameis. Mr. Eater Dub.